Welcome in, everybody, to the very first episode of Nintendo Rewind. I'm Cody Christian, and I am joined by Josh Taylor, hosting the premier podcast covering all the biggest Nintendo news, announcements, and reviews. We're rewinding and recapping last week for Nintendo, but before we dive in, Josh, tell me how's it going, dude?
Going quite well here. It's a little late for me. I'm getting kind of old, and I work in 2 jobs, keeping pretty busy. But we're doing pretty well. Hey, it's been a good day. Got some good stuff coming up.
Did I feel that? I 1000% feel the old and feeling like it's a pretty good day. Overall, today was trying. I'm pretty sure my firstborn decided he wanted to fist fight this morning. So I said, okay, let's do this, and we made it through the day.
You look okay. How was he?
Oh, he's so far. I think if I had to fight a 6-year-old or at least a herd of 6-year-olds, I could at least take on 5 of them before they kick my butt.
You should be real proud of yourself.
I'm getting there. I've got some people. By the way, again, this is our first episode ever, so we're gonna have some kinks to work out. Chat is telling me Josh's audio is really low. I've bumped him up a little bit here. You want to say hi to the people?
Hi to the people.
Is that better or is that way worse? You guys tell me.
It's some adjustments here.
Oh man, but we've got a pretty good show planned today. As people let me know whether or not Josh is here. Mrs. Nerdwire says she thinks it's better, so we are getting there. But we've got a pretty good show planned today. As far as what we're going to talk about, we're going to be talking about MyNintendo's digital and physical rewards news and updates for this week. We also want to talk a little bit about the events that are going on as we dive deeper into December. There are a couple of big ones. Our main topic of the year is personal game of the year for Nintendo. And I'm not going to spoil anything. I've already been kind of commenting in the Discord and also over on our Facebook group, just finding out what everyone else's game of the year was and spoiled a little bit of my own, but it is what it is. And then some extra Nintendo news, some surrounding Universal Studios, some surrounding movie news, some surrounding just a couple of different things that are going on. And then we're going to dive into the upcoming games and release dates for some new and notable stuff that you guys should be looking forward to. And it's kind of the opposite of rewinding Nintendo. We're kind of looking forward to next week. So that being said, Josh, I'm going to hand it over to you. Do you want to take away the MyNintendo digital and physical rewards news?
Yeah, so to go over some of the new stuff in there, if you check it out pretty often, there's some things in there that sort of hang around, for lack of better words. One of the new digital rewards, let me pull them back up here. There is, of course, the new December calendar wallpaper featuring Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And there's also a Pikmin 4 one, which I am actually using on my phone. If I can pull it up. Yeah, forget it. You'll have to look it up yourself maybe next time. But now that one's actually 0 points. I think they both are. Stuff like that's pretty easy to get a hold of anyway. Outside of that, one other more interesting thing, which I know it's just a sweepstakes, so you don't necessarily get a thing out of this, but for 10 points each, you can do up to 3 entries. You can win a trip to the Super Nintendo world. It is a family fun sweepstakes. I believe that is up to 4, if I remember correctly.
I think so. I think that's what I saw.
No, wait.
It is 4. It's like you and 3 guests.
Okay, yeah. However you want to figure that one out. So you can do 3 entries for that. And I know I've already done it. That is definitely something I'm interested in. We'll get back to some of that later.
I've yet to do it, man. I really want to, but I never win those sweepstakes, so I almost never try to get on with anything because I have the worst luck in the world.
I went through this big streak. It feels like for a few years. I was winning everything left and right, and it's been a little while. That needs to come back. It's time for that to come back.
I need some of that Josh Taylor luck.
Yeah. Well, it's been gone for a while. It'll come back.
Oh no!
Now, what I'm usually more interested in with these is the physical rewards. but they can really be hit and miss or kind of weird, like the little koozie thing for Detective Pikachu or whatever it was, or like luggage tags and whatever. But there is some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe vinyl stickers. It's the second sheet they put up on there for 300 points. Now, they are pretty good stickers. Like, I've got the first little set of those, and they are nice. I got a little game scrapbook. I've put them in there and all that sort of thing. But personally, and I think you would agree, for the shipping, which is like $7 or $8, it's maybe not worth all that. So that's one of those good things. Like, if you're getting something else, go ahead and slap that on there. Yeah. It's not that many points, and they are well made. But yeah, that's basically all the new stuff from there. Now, somewhat also related to that, the custom icons on the Switch for the NSO app. Those also have been changing out. We don't have this in the notes here, but there's been a lot of Super Mario RPG ones switching in and out. Now, they will be going away, I think, fairly soon, but they're still, I believe it's the last set is up on there now. And so you definitely should go check that out. Yeah, that's an awesome game anyhow. So, but other than that, there is holiday themed custom icons up at the moment. Like you said, they go out on Christmas Day, I believe.
Yep.
Is it yeah. So go ahead and check those out because those are actually really nice. There's a couple, I don't know if you've seen them. Like there's a couple that's just like this nice artwork of like a snowman and a little Yoshi egg with like a little ribbon on it. And there's Pikmin and all kinds of stuff on there. Go check those out if you like this.
I love the Splatoon one with like that squid background with the bells tied around it. I think it's really, really cool. I think that's super cool. But the Tears of the Kingdom Link icon is by far my favorite of the bunch, I think, out of all of them.
Yeah.
Got that
I think I've got the red Pikmin with the candle right now.
Oh, see, I've been running with and it's hard for me to put them down, but I've been running with Mario RPG Mario and the forest maze background, and I have yet to pick these up. So if you guys are watching it live, feel free to tell me which one of these I should pick up. I'll make it my icon next. So
I've been indecisive with the Mario RPG one, so I think I've already used like 4 since they started coming out. Let's see, I've had Boshi, let's see, Gino, Croco. It keeps changing. So,
Gino's a good choice.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. I had Mallow for a little bit. That was it. I almost wish they could just switch every time you turn them on. It'd save me a lot of time.
Just like shuffle, like the old 3DS themes used to.
Yeah, or another cool way to display them.
It would be cool.
Yeah, like I don't want to just see one at a time.
Dude, do like an album. Nintendo, get on it.
Yeah, do you remember? Okay, I had MySpace like back in the day. Do you remember this like bulletin board thing? You could put like little buttons on it.
Yeah.
You could just look up all kinds of random stuff. That's what I'm thinking, like something like that.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that is basically all the new stuff to spend your points on in the past week or so, give or take. So
absolutely,
there you go on that one.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it, dude. There's a lot of really, really cool stuff. I mean, the big thing that sticks out to me, the thing that I probably got to actually spend my platinum points on is definitely going to be the sweepstakes. I've yet to do it because, again, like I said, I have the worst luck in the entire universe. But then even beyond that, I'm going to be picking up whichever one I decide to do for the holiday icons. There are a couple of events that are getting ready to roll out this week or have already started. And the first one that is on this list is actually the Tetris 99 38th Maximus Cup. That's actually a little over a week out, a week and a couple of days. Starts on 12/14/30. My gosh, where did I say 30? Thursday at 11 p.m. Pacific time. So convert that to your local time zone, whatever that may be. It'll probably be Friday at 1 a.m., I think, if I'm counting correctly. And then that goes all the way until the 18th at 10:59 Pacific time. It is, I believe this is the first time they've done a Super Mario Bros. Wonder Maximus Cup on there.
That's what's weird to me is they've already done, I forget what order they did it in. It was WarioWare, I believe. No, it's backwards. I think they did Mario
currently,
RPG first.
Isn't it? Yeah, I think they did WarioWare now, and they had Mario RPG.
So the games came out, Mario Wonder, WarioWare, and then Mario RPG. But then this is done, I think, Mario RPG, WarioWare, and then Wonder.
So backwards.
Which I don't quite get why they did it that way. They're already that close. You might as well have done them correctly.
Yep. It doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. But you do get a reward once you've accumulated a total of 100 event points. A new theme will unlock featuring art, music, and Tetrimino designs inspired by Super Mario Bros. Wonder. That's kind of your typical, like, when you play Tetris 99 and you win in the Maximus Cups, they give you that prize as just something to customize your game with. So
you can use it from then on, like in local even. Somebody said they weren't real sure what it is. All you really have to do, you don't really even have to win much of anything. The higher place you get, the more points you get. You have to cross the 100-point mark. So it usually doesn't take too long as you can get in the top. If you can get in the top 50, it really helps.
Do they just award points based on placement? So if you win like one game first place, do you get 100 points or is it different?
I don't think it's 100. I don't win that game. So I'm not sure what it is. It used to be worse. I think they've actually made it a little bit easier. I can't remember what the point values are, but it doesn't take too long. It's almost like how Splatfest works, where you kind of get more points depending on, if you won or not. It's a little easier than that.
I dig it. Yeah. I didn't play much of Tetris 99 either because I have the same problem you do where I don't really win that game. I'm pretty consistently, like back when it first launched and I was hardcore playing it, but there were a ton of people that were hardcore playing it back then. Yeah. I was consistently in the top 20 at least most of the time, but winning it, that's my problem with battle royales is oftentimes like if I don't feel like there's any winning it, I'm not interested in it. So like I totally bypass Tetris 99 most of the time, but I know we have a few viewers who would probably like this and would want to try to at least get this Mario Bros. Wonder background and sounds and all that jazz. So the other thing that launched though fairly recently, and this is the thing that's more exciting to me because I did really enjoy F-Zero 99. There's an update that came out on the 28th last week, version 1.1.0, and it added a classic race mode and more. Some of the patch notes here read, these are 20-player races with the same rules as the Super NES version of F-Zero. Classic races are one variety of a special event and will be held periodically. Couple of other notes here. They added some backdrops, badges, borders. They added lucky ranks as well. But the big standout there is the 20-player race. Have you dove into F-Zero 99 since this update came out? You've probably been super busy.
I've been super busy, but I did do one classic race. It's one of those that switches out, though, unfortunately, so you can't always do it. You have to wait for it to show up. Like I checked a little while ago, and it was another mini tournament like that I already done several times over. But no, I put a ton of time into this when it first came out, and honestly, I love F-Zero, and it's been forever since they've actually come up with a game. I see like I believe it's Netist in the comments there said they will do anything except actually release a real F-Zero game. And 1, yeah, it's painful. It's been 20 years since the last home console one with GX. I love that guy. Got so good at that game.
Do you think this will spark any interest though, like back in F-Zero as a franchise for Nintendo? I mean, and that's a question for the live chat here as well. Like, does anyone believe that the popularity that this gained, which unfortunately I think it's waned since its release, does anyone believe that that's going to give way to another F-Zero game?
I have hope just in the simple fact that Nintendo did something with it. I hope they don't think this was going to absolutely explode or at least have legs that would last for months and months on end. I think it really did explode for a few weeks. I think it's just kind of there. But I think it has a chance. I don't want to get my hopes up too much. But the fact that they even made anything F-Zero related was something. Maybe they were gauging the interest.
I'm with you. That's my biggest hope is that they do utilize that to gauge interest. I don't think it'll do the same thing revelatory the way that Super Mario RPG Remake did, where I think that may spur Nintendo to continue their remake run with stuff like Metroid Prime Remastered and stuff like Thousand Year Door. But my biggest hope is that is more of a what do they call those tests? Focus test for hopeful additional F-Zero stuff happening sometime in the future. That being said, that being said, that kind of wraps up the basic news for everything that's happened in the My Nintendo area and the events area for stuff that you guys can do right now. I do want to talk a little bit about today's main topic, which is our own personal games of the year. And I would say that there's some really, really good variety here in terms of what Nintendo put out this past year. But I would also say that this list is somewhat limited. Now, I'm going to list some of the games that were released. These are the notable titles that released all this past year that are either exclusives to the console, or they were developed and published by Nintendo, or they were developed by a third party and published by Nintendo. So those are the three criteria with which I think those games are allowed to enter the conversation. And so I'm going to go through this games list here really quickly. And I'm going to tell you guys when it came out, and then we're going to start a little bit of a conversation about about our own personal games of the year and who is going to win what I'm going to call our Kawashimi, Dr. Kawashima from Brain Age. He's our low poly dude who deserves to be put on a trophy. So notable games this year: Dragon Quest Treasures, released in December of 2022. Fire Emblem Engage in January. Metroid Prime Remastered in February. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe also in February. Bayonetta Origins: Cereza and the Lost Dream in March. Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp in April. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom also in April. Pikmin 1 and 2 in June. Everybody 1-2 Switch also in June. Disney Illusion Island in July. Pikmin 4 in July. F-Zero 99 in September. Fae Farm in September. Detective Pikachu Returns in October. Sonic Superstars in October. Super Mario Bros. Wonder in October. WarioWare Move It for November. And Super Mario RPG rounds out the year for all the things that were released by Nintendo for Nintendo. So, that being said, Josh, are there any standouts on here that kind of come to your mind that deserve to be listed with a GOTY?
Yeah, so for me, I was very indecisive. So a lot of times I'll kind of go through and just for fun, I'm like, I think this is my favorite game this year. For this year, it's like a 4-way tie, and I don't think I can just choose one. So obviously, there's like with the Game Awards on this Friday coming up, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is on there. Super Mario Brothers Wonder is on there, and those two definitely are big contenders in my book. It depends on the day of the week which one I choose between those. But the other two would be Super Mario RPG, because that game was awesome on the Super Nintendo, and the remake's amazing as well. It's just really well done. And of course, Pikmin 4, as you can probably see behind me. So I don't know if I had to choose at this very moment, at least, and this will probably change in 5 minutes. But I almost feel like Pikmin 4 had the most, I don't know, it caught my eye the most, and for my family, like we all kind of enjoyed it the most. Then again, though, I can almost say that for all of those in a different way. But yeah, I'm leaning towards Pikmin 4. I feel like that one impressed me the most.
It's really hard for me to look at a Pikmin game and go, that one's game of the year. Like, and I know I'm gonna offend some people that are out there, because we've got some people in the chat that would probably be like, no, Pikmin 4, my Nintendo game for sure. We've got someone already in the live chat saying that besides you. Yeah. So you are among good company. But the thing about Pikmin 4 that I think keeps me from putting it anywhere in my own personal list of number one game for the year is the fact that I don't know that I would say that it reinvigorated the genre, or that it added anything to that genre of, and I don't even know what genre I guess like mob control. we're gonna invent a new genre here, mob control,
Okay.
with strategy elements that are included in there, and a little bit of puzzle elements as well. But I don't feel like it did anything all that different from Pikmin 3. And in many ways, for me, Pikmin 4 removed a lot of what made Pikmin 3 great, which was the local multiplayer.
I will say that, yeah, the local multiplayer is definitely missing because we played that a ton on 3.
It was just
They had a little
regression.
battle mode, and it was cool, but like it wasn't bingo battle.
No.
There wasn't the co-op
Yeah.
the same way.
Right. And like that's just kind of where I land with it, is why I cannot put Pikmin 4 in my game of the year contender. But for me as a player, in the way that I would want to. By the way, live chat is telling me to be canceled. And I don't blame them. Pikmin 3 I think is a better game than Pikmin 4 by and large. But also we had 2 other Pikmin games relaunched this year that were better games than either of the new ones, and it's Pikmin 1 and 2 as a re-release, a remaster. You disagree?
I disagree on that one.
Oh, why? Okay, hit me with it.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the time I played it, but for some reason Pikmin 2 is like at the bottom of the list for me out of those 4. I like them all. They're all great games. But I don't know if it was the caves just kept going on too long or a little bit too repetitive or whatever. I feel like the caves in 4 were a lot better. Okay. I don't know if it's where I believe they're sort of randomized in 2. Maybe they just weren't designed quite as well. 2's really good. That's just sort of at the bottom. It just sort of drags by the last third of the game or so. Like I feel like it's stayed long enough. I like 1 a lot. 1's like really replayable for me, trying to see how quick you can get through and all of that sort of thing. I don't know. For me, like if I list them, it would be 4, 3, 1, 2. 3's right on top of 4, but I really like 4 single player is the best, but 3, I will give you that multiplayer like really adds a lot to that one.
I would almost rank these chronologically. Pikmin 1, Pikmin 2, Pikmin 3, and then Pikmin 4 is kind of where I land with it for myself. But and maybe that's just me being like totally jaded by my nostalgia glasses, because that game was the first game that I remember looking at and being blown away by what it did graphically. And part of it is you're working on a very tiny scale, so you can really blow away the audience by making things look really good because everything's really zoomed in and big. But the strategy elements of that game being established was that was probably what got me into this mob control strategy style video game. After that, I don't know that I've played another game that really tops that from that. We have a live chat in here, one that we did not talk about in that series, which was Hey Pikmin. And Super Nintendo in the live audience says, hot take, Hey Pikmin is the best in the series. Have you played any of Hey Pikmin?
The main 4 are great games. They're all great. Hey Pikmin, I think I tried it once, like a used copy, and I don't know if I've lost it or if I traded it in for something else, which I usually don't do. I kind of still wish I had it just because I'm a Pikmin fan, but from what I remember, it was very, very boring.
Here's the thing, is it was like one of those on rails. I don't know if you remember that Yoshi game that came out for the DS.
Touch and Go?
Yes, Touch and Go. It was a lot like that with where you are throwing your Pikmin to help solve a problem as you reach the edge of the screen, but the game was too easy. Like it was a snooze fest in terms of it being too easy. I really enjoyed the art style, and I like what they did, and they had a really cool amiibo that came out for it with all the Pikmin.
I'm so sad I didn't get that.
Ooh, that one's sitting in my box. I
try to pretend like it doesn't exist.
And also Pikmin Bloom. I'm with you, live chat. Super Nintendo. Pikmin Bloom is good, but it barely suffices as a video game for me. Like
it's missing something. It needs a little something more. Yep. I don't know.
Yep. So Pikmin 4 is really what is going to receive your Kawashimi, huh?
Maybe. Let's go for that for now. Okay. Maybe it's this thing behind me, like, having an influence on me. Like a couple weeks ago, it would have been Wonder, and then I was like, I don't know, RPG's pretty darn good. And then Zelda, let's just say it's Pikmin 4. Let's go with that. I'm going to stick with that.
Okay. I can handle that. Here for me, this is where I land on this last year in Nintendo games. And the thing that probably I think bothers me the most about this last year in Nintendo games is that it was filled too much with remakes. And I have a really hard time looking at remakes and remasters and going, you know what? You deserve an award. You deserve an award. When we look at it, we had Metroid Prime Remastered in February, like I mentioned, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, Pikmin 1 and 2. I'm going to classify F-Zero 99 as a remake, remaster, port kind of situation, even though it did turn the formula on its head. It is very much a similar experience. And then closing out this year was Super Mario RPG. And to me, because those are remakes and remasters, I kind of have to slide those out of my running as much as it hurts me and pains me, because I loved Super Mario RPG a lot. I was blown away by Metroid Prime Remastered. I skipped out on Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. That's on me. I wanted to pick that one up, but among the other games that were coming out, like Metroid Prime Remastered, because I bought it twice. I bought it digitally and then physically right after. I skipped out on Kirby's Return to Dreamland. I skipped out on Advance Wars 1 and 2 because Tears of the Kingdom was coming out.
Yeah.
So those were kind of my choices as far as what I chose over the other one. So clearly Kirby's out, Advance Wars is out because those were taught by Metroid Prime and Tears of the Kingdom. Metroid Prime Remastered is out because it's a remake. So when I look at this list and I try to take in the games that are not remakes, that are truly inventive, that are doing something to affect the genre as a whole, there are two very clear contenders here for me. And it's Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And part of me does not just want to hand my Kawashimi to Tears of the Kingdom because everybody's going to hand their Kawashimi to Tears of the Kingdom. You know what I mean?
Again, if you had asked me a few weeks ago, I'd easily go to Wonder.
Yeah.
Not to set on that one too much, but I think what keeps me maybe from that is I feel like once it was over, it was just over. Like it was like, oh, this is a blast. And then like the wall hit and it was like, now what?
I'm with you.
I don't know.
I'm with you. Wonder did something wondrous by revitalizing what the 2D platform genre actually was like. Again, like Nintendo very clearly understands 2D platformers, and I love what they did with Mario. But it's hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's really hard for me to look at that and not go, that's just another Mario game, because at its core, it is running and jumping. And I know the same could be said about Tears of the Kingdom. I know I am a living bigot. It is basically just Breath of the Wild. But Tears of the Kingdom did something for me that Breath of the Wild did not, and that was actually give me a story that I could comprehend and not piece together and not miss out on. Because the things in Breath of the Wild, what it did to set up a story, I mean, you had the opening cinematic, which was next to nothing. And then you had the memories. And then you had your closing cinematic. And that was it, as far as that goes. And story beats were nowhere near as memorable for me in Breath of the Wild. But Tears of the Kingdom took what Breath of the Wild did good already, which, in my opinion, there was a lot that Breath of the Wild did well. They took what Breath of the Wild did good already, and then turned it on its head and added story. They added a little bit more padding, and I think that's to its detriment. I've had some conversations with friends lately. You know, the extra shrines were not, it just bloated the already very large experience. The Koroks, to me, were less inventive than the first time that they had to be done. And even then, those were kind of just a side item that I didn't even want to touch. But the overall overarching story and the direct mission beats were very, very good. The actual side quest felt like more than just a fetch quest. Like I remember, and this is the thing, it left an impression on me. I remember helping a mayor of a town try to fight against a floral lady, and the floral lady fighting against the mayor, and they're working together at the end. It was just such a good story beat, and that left an impression on me. Everything
the
in
side
that
quests
game.
were really good in this one. There was another one with like the band members you have to gather, like for the at the different.
Are you talking about Mario Odyssey?
stables.
I'm kidding.
No. All the band members you have to gather at the different stables, and then you finally get them all together. I don't want to give it all away, but just the little bits and pieces you have to do to get through to find all of them and things like that. I feel like the side quests in this were just more fun. Like I didn't really care what the reward was. I just wanted to do them.
Right. I enjoyed the story, and I enjoyed the ride that I was on. And that, to me, is why that game, to me, out of the list of games that Nintendo released this year and published or were the exclusive for, it is the one that is the most interesting to me on that list, and actually solidifies its place in a way that can be, this is Game of the Year material. There were a couple of other...
I don't want to sit on Zelda too much, but I was just going to say, maybe we can go back to it another time. But I will say, a little piece of me maybe is disappointed, probably because of myself, where it's like I wanted it to be a little bit more this and that. Like the story is better than Breath of the Wild's, but I still feel like it sort of follows those same beats and like the memories and things like that. I don't know. I don't know if it was the way it was handled, or this is how Zelda's kind of always been, but now that it's voiced, it feels different. I don't know, but I still feel like it could have been a little bit better, and I feel like they really went out of their way to make it not make sense with not only the rest of the series, which is whatever, but Breath of the Wild, like the Guardians are just gone. Like there's just nothing said. I feel like they could still have done a better job with the story. Made sense of a few more things. There's one scene in particular that looks really goofy that involves Ganondorf. You probably know what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. I just feel like there's a few things they could have touched up a little better with that. But
I think one of my biggest frustrations with that game, and I think even Game of the Year contenders deserve to have a little bit of criticism that is placed there at their feet. But I think one of my biggest frustrations is that after I would complete a traditional Zelda dungeon, all of the people would put you through the same exact cutscene, filling you with the same exact information every single time. And it did kind of take me out of it. I didn't notice it in the second temple that I did. But third temple, fourth temple, the surprise area, like it was at that point I was like, okay, come on now. Can we not act like we don't know what's going on here? And also the lead up though, and I think where they did it much better, and part of the problem with having that game be an open world structure the way that it was, where I could really do anything, and what kind of ruined some of that was the level of detail that I got out of finding the dragon tears right before finding an important item in the game, we'll say, without spoiling too much. Which, by the way, this game came out in April. If you guys haven't beaten it, please just go beat it, so that way I can feel like not spoiling you. But by the time I found all the dragon tears, I'd pieced together all the pieces of the story that were really important. So the temple story beats from the ending did not add anything extra or insightful. And I think they could have done more with that than making the spirits that you work with feel like NPCs, right? Because at that point, that's what it felt like. They weren't important anymore. Like, I know everything I need to know. I don't need to know XYZ person's story. It doesn't matter. Lord Sidon, I know we're friends. I don't care. Or Prince Sidon. But, I mean, that's kind of where I land on it, and I think it deserves that level of criticism. And that's not the only place. Again, said it was bloated, but don't want to spend too much time on it. But that's just kind of where I feel, for me, that game, that's the one that's going to get my Kawashimi this year.
That's fair.
There are a
what's
couple
good, and that is very, very good. It has its flaws, obviously, but what's good is really, really good. So you can't deny that.
Yep. There were a couple of games that were on here that I thought deserved to have a good mention in this. And some of these are games that I never really even got the chance to try. But Disney Illusion Island is an amazing Rayman-like, and that's the closest thing I can compare it to is like Rayman Legends, with some good family fun multiplayer. There's a lot of like hidden stuff in there that are these nice little Easter eggs. If you're a Disney adult, which I know, Josh, you're a Disney adult out here, so I'm gonna out you to the public, but it's got some really, really good Easters. Did you play Disney Illusion Island?
Yeah, the three of us have played through some of it. We should have went through it by now. Long story short, for some reason, it's hard to get all three of us down on like a game where you really have to focus and make progress. Like, it's easy for us to sit down and play Mario Party, and we could do that all the time. But with the kid and my wife and everybody, it's kind of hard to sit down and play through something like that. I've really enjoyed what's there, though. I think it is a really solid game. With the right people, I think you can really have a good time with it. I don't know if I'd want to play it alone so much, but it's a good game.
I understand. We talked a little bit about Mario Bros. Wonder. It goes to be mentioned. If you guys are watching us this week, the reason we're talking about this is because the Game Awards are on the 8th,
Yep.
and we kind of wanted to do our own thing, but Super Mario Bros. Wonder is on their Game of the Year listing as well, along with Tears of the Kingdom and 4 other games that are just as amazing. But Mario Bros. Wonder, I think, deserves all the flowers that it's being handed. It deserves all the praise. It was really, really, really good. Sonic Superstars, and this is going to be my hot take. Sonic Superstars is not a good game, and that's just my own personal opinion. Unfortunately, there are places where I think Sonic Superstars could use just that extra little bit of polish that Mania got, that Superstars didn't. I like the visuals, but in many ways, it's like a step above Generations.
Mm-hmm.
A step above Generations. And I don't know if you agree with that take.
Mostly. I don't think it's bad. I think the bosses are pretty bad.
Yeah.
The rest of the game, I think, is pretty good for the most part. I like how they try to do the different powers for each emerald. I feel like they're a little underutilized, especially some above others. But I like the thought, and maybe if you really, you don't really have to use them, but if you want to play around with them, that's cool. They're there. So I like some of that. I like how the characters play. They all feel pretty good, as they should. I don't know if I really want to spoil. There's a little extra to that, and that part. I'll say the 5th character is pretty cool. That's all I'm saying.
I got you.
So that works out mostly good. There's an aspect to that's a little weird, but I don't want to get too far into it. It's a very okay game. I don't know why they didn't just keep the Mania team, which they're working on something really cool as well on any game, but we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, you can definitely tell it's not the Mania team. I don't know why they didn't do what they could with them, because obviously that turned out perfectly fine. So it's like they should have just let them loose on something completely original. But no, we're free to go to this team that worked on Balan Wonderland. So,
which also is
it's
not
better
a
than
good
that.
game. Yeah, it is way better than Balan Wonderland. It's way better than that. I really wanted Balan Wonderland to be a good success, and it just did not.
I did too.
It didn't do it.
I'm like, Knight's okay. I get the like for Knights, so I kind of wanted that to, be a good spiritual successor to it, but nope.
Eric Ladd in our live chat says Balan Wonderland confirmed for Game of the Year. Game of the Year of 2021. What, has it been 2 years since that game came out? I can't remember. It feels like 2 years. But man,
I tried the demo. Thankfully, I didn't spend money on it.
What a bad game. What a bad game.
It was rough.
From that bad game, though, I do kind of want to highlight, and it's one that I think didn't get the attention that it should get because it didn't measure up to its predecessor, and that's Fire Emblem Engage. I really enjoyed Fire Emblem Engage, but I'm also a big tactics guy. So like if I can play through a tactics game and really get behind the characters and enjoy what I'm playing there, it was a pretty solid return to OG Fire Emblem style. And by that I mean they got rid of all the romance. And they
thank goodness. Maybe I would like this one.
No. I need to romance my co-people. Like I have to. That's part of my enjoyment. But that being said, I think for anyone who just wants to fight and have a story told to them and doesn't want to do the relationship building side of things, they're going to enjoy Fire Emblem Engage. And I don't think it got the spotlight that it should, because I'm gonna say it, and I don't know if I'm gonna like it or if I'm gonna regret it, but because the casual player who played Fire Emblem Three Houses did not like that the romance was gone, it did not get the attention that I think Fire Emblem Engage should have gotten. That being said, if you wanted another tactics game, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, I skipped this one back when it launched because I wanted to play Tears of the Kingdom. That's a fine remake / port kind of game.
It looks good.
Again,
I actually would like to play it. I just didn't want to drop $60 on it when Zelda was like right around the corner either.
No, I'm with you. It's good. I don't know. That being said, now I don't want to put you on the spot too much, but there is another category that I wanted to talk about that wasn't just the Nintendo Game of the Year.
Oh, wait. Before you tear me down, because I know what's coming, I do want a quick shout out to Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope DLC with Rayman and the Fandom Show. That's pretty darn good. It was it's about 12 hours long, so it's not too long to get through. It is really great. I'm not advertising here. You know me.
Not advertising. Not a sponsor, but Ubisoft, if you're listening, Davide, if you're listening, come and say hi. But that being said, we're friends. That being said, I'm with you. I think Mario plus Rabbids, all of that was really, really solid. All of that game was solid, but
worth it, and it's always on sale. Just don't be cheap.
No. Don't be cheap. Don't be cheap.
Anyway, go ahead. Get to the part where you shame me.
Look, you didn't do your job as a proper developer supporter, and you got no indies this year, but you did get one. You did get one, and I think you should talk about it in great detail. This is your chance for an essay.
I have a reason. I picked up 2 jobs at the beginning of the year, so I'm usually really good with indies, especially since like Shovel Knight came out on the Wii U way back then. Like I've always tried to get a handful of indies every year. I could talk about a lot of good ones. For whatever reason, this year I was really bad at it. I played a lot of first party stuff. So you want me to go ahead and I guess go with the choice I went with?
Yeah.
The choice I went with, and I'm playing this by the Game Awards rule, where like if it's after mid-November or something, it doesn't count. It's the next year. So I believe this came out in December for Switch. It came out for the others, I think, a little bit later. I played it on Switch. But is Little Gator Game, which if you haven't seen it before, it's actually this cute little sort of sandboxy game. Have you played it?
I have. Sorry, I was in the middle of talking to live chat in the chat. But so I actually played a very teeny tiny amount of Little Gator Game, and to me, it reminded me a lot of another indie title that was somewhat close to its release as well, but was a very different aesthetic, and that was A Short Hike.
Played that one too. Yeah, that one is good.
It looked so cute. I really wanted to work with that team, and I was close to being able to work with them whenever that was launching, but at the time could not fit it into schedule. That game looked so cool. The vibe gave me just like comfy cozy, being a kid and pretending to go on an exploration adventure style game.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was, you're basically using your imagination in there. You can just kind of be a little kid. And it was good. I've got my daughter too that enjoys some games from time to time. So, like the money in it is like paper scraps. And like the little weapons you get are like a cardboard sword or something. Now it gets a little goofy with some stuff. Like one thing you can get is like I think it was a bubble, like a bubble gum. Dear, I can't think of the name. So you can blow the bubble and it kind of like pulls you up. And you can get like a little glider that kind of reminds me of Breath of the Wild or something. And you get a little skateboard and things like that. So it's just kind of one of those that you can just relax with. And there is things to do. Like I got 100% on it. It's not like the longest thing, but it was just fun to kind of go through and goof around and see what you can find. It's not difficult, but it's not like everything's just super right in front of you. You do have to look and explore, but you're not like going to die 100 times or anything like that. That's not going to happen. You don't die. But Yeah, it's a very chill game, and I really enjoyed it.
It's just like that nostalgia beat that I think I like about it is that it feels very nostalgic, very much like my childhood in some ways.
Yeah.
I really liked the vibe that it gave me, and just kind of the sandboxy nature, and that's the fun of those games is that it's not a hard game, and like I mentioned, a short hike, not a hard game. You can make it hard if you want to by going and doing everything that the game can put in front of you, and I'm sure Little Gator Game is very similar, but it's just
it has a
nice...
little cute story to it and everything too. And I don't know if you went through the whole thing, but like I believe it was his sister. Who he's trying to get have a better relationship with because she's so busy working and he just wants to play, and
he just wants to relive his childhood again.
When I say that, but it is.
That's what it was.
It's a good little story.
He was like a little kid who had all the time in the world to play with his big sister, and then she grew up and got too old for him essentially.
There is, and then there's other characters and stuff you meet in it too that are pretty cool, and you get to know them and make friends out of them and all of that sort of things. It's nice.
Yep, it was really, really good. I'll agree with Josh. I think it ranks up there well enough out of the list of indies this year. I think it ranks up there. If you're wanting a chill time, and you want a good time, go there. Mm-hmm. That being said, I played a lot of indies this year. I played a lot of indies this year, and there was one indie that I looked at and went, "This is my Nindy. This is my game that I'm going to give an indie award, my Kawashimi." To a specific game, it would be Sea of Stars. Now, a lot of its story beats are pretty overplayed. I mean, it's your typical JRPG fanfare where you're wizards and you're magical and there's a moon and a sun and things are bad and there's a giant future man that's here and he's going to be hurting everybody. And you get, your human companion, you have your mages, your sun mage, your moon mage, you get future person, you get another future person that happens to be made out of gas. Like, there's a lot. Listen, trust me. You just got to play it. Bist, absolute Bist boy. So like he is my favorite character in that game. But that being said, it was written in a very meta way, in a way that appealed to my level of humor that I have right now. The twists and turns were a little bit predictable, yes, but the thing that kept me coming back was the battle gameplay loop. Now, this game, the developers, Sabotage Studios, stated this game hardcore inspiration pulled from Mario RPG. And after playing Mario RPG, and I'm about to commit a gamer sin and tell everybody right now, after playing Mario RPG for my very first time doing it on the remake, I 100% see the relationship between what the battle mechanics were like. So they wanted to keep you involved, so you've got timed attacks, you've got these timed defenses. So it is very Mario RPG like, where you do more damage if you get your attack timed correctly right. You defend from damage if you defend properly when you're pressing that input attack button. That being said, like the game was written in such a way that all of the characters were so charming that I got so attached to them, and I haven't gotten this attached to characters since Eastward last year, really. But I got so attached to those characters over my gameplay that when certain story beats would happen, and I thought that's the last time I'm going to get to see them, I was legitimately saddened. Like, I was like, no, my party, these people, I need them here. But that game, from a pixel art standpoint, because it is pixel art, it's not like a 3D. It's your classic top down Super Nintendo era pixel art style JRPG. That game, beautiful game, probably one of the best soundtracks of the year to come out, in my opinion. But if you've played like The Messenger and you're familiar with that soundtrack, it is a very similar feel and vibe in terms of audio as well. The gameplay loop, like I said, kept me engaged the entire time with the battles. There really wasn't a time when I felt like I don't want to do a battle. Like every enemy I wanted to fight because it was fun to do the fight. And then realistically, the payoff with the storyline and even the post-game stuff was very well worth my time and the endeavor to go through and play it. So Sea of Stars for me is like, that's my indie of the year.
I've heard a lot of good. I'd really like to try it. I'm not historically like the biggest RPG or JRPG guy, but I like my fair share of them. I mean, Mario RPG I love, and like the Paper Marios and things like that. I played a couple Fire Emblems, so I think I'd really like it. I'd like to give that one a chance for sure.
I do too. I think you would really like it as well. Someone, i.e. myself or somebody else, needs to gift that to you for Christmas.
Oh yes.
So it'd be a good time. I heavily recommend it. We do have, and I feel like that kind of wraps up our game of the year. So for me, Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom this past year is my personal game of the year. For Josh,
I'm going with Pikmin 4. At least that's what I'm saying right now. Ask me again in 10 minutes. But Pikmin 4.
Just recency bias. That's all we have going on right now for Josh.
No. If that was recency bias, it would have been Wonder or Mario RPG.
That's true.
I've had enough breath, in there now that there's not really that recency bias.
That's fair.
Anything.
That is fair.
I couldn't pick a remake, so that's why RPG was completely out of it. I mean,
man.
I could have, I guess.
You could have, but it would have been sad. It would have been sad because it's a remake, and you're giving an award to a game that is old, technically, by all technicality.
I know, but just look at it. Look at this.
Yes!
Look at this. I got the set right next to me.
That was what is that magazine, by the way? What is that? Nintendo?
Oh, that is it is Nintendo Force. That is a current issue of that. I've actually got a big the poster in it is the world map for that, and I've got it framed. I just don't know where to put it yet.
That's so sick. It's very cool. It's very cool. With that being said, we are going to move into our next segment, which is some extra Nintendo news coming your way. We got a couple of trailers queued up. We've got a couple of other things. I'm going to have those playing in the background. So let's jump over and show off what else is going on. So the first topic here is that, let me turn that down, is that Pokemon Horizons, the series, gets its US premiere date, February 23rd, 2024. It is the very first anime that is coming out that does not feature Ash Ketchum. It's a whole new area with 2 new protagonists. It does seem to be set within the Scarlet and Violet region with some hints back toward Pokemon Legends Arceus, as you can see in the designs of the Pokeballs there. But I'm excited for it. How do you feel about an anime without Ash Ketchum, Josh?
Yes, I mean I haven't really watched it much in years. My daughter's jumped in and out of it here and there, but no, I think I can appreciate this. I think I like the idea of it getting a fresh new coat of paint, so to speak. I believe actually when I watched the trailer, they said something about being in the Indigo League, so I'm not really sure what that means with the location they're at. But yeah, I think it's a good thing, honestly, especially since like Ash's whole thing is over. I don't think Pokemon has really lost its popularity, so I think this is a good thing.
He finally became
animation
champion.
Looks nice.
Yeah, it does. I didn't get to catch any of the ending of the original Ash Ketchum saga. I know that he went on his big parade, kind of tying up loose ends and finishing up plot holes from his time as the main character. But I am excited to see somebody else kind of struggle their way through wanting to become the very best, like no one ever was. Because I mean, that was Ash's whole thing was, I want to be the very best. And then eventually he became it. And it's like, where do you go from there? Well, clearly they had to move on with new protagonists. So
took a long time, but he got there.
It did.
I wonder if he's allowed to age now.
Oh my God. We're going to get like 28-year-old Ash Ketchum fighting as the Elite Four, one of the members of the Elite Four, the Ultimate Champion. Like, it's going to be good.
Not to waste any more time, but since they like did the new style with that, I think it was after Sun and Moon, is that little like line right there. I always thought it looked like a mustache. I always saw a Chaz Finster from Rugrats. Like he's got that little,
Yes, I totally see it.
I don't know.
I totally see it. Also, oops, everybody's going to see everything. Also, Splatoon 3 version 6.0.0 update came out November 29th, 2023. Some of the patch notes that were shared, there is a new catalog including new gear, titles, banners, decorations, stickers, and emotes. There's one new battle stage, which is Robo Rom EN, and one returning battle stage, which is Bluefin Depot. 2 new special weapons, 9 new sets of existing main weapons paired with different subs and special weapons, a newly discovered, which this gets me very excited because I am a big fan of Salmon Run, a newly discovered King Salmonoid Megalodontia, 11 new table turf battle cards, which is weird to me that they're adding more to that because I don't feel like that is a very prominent feature of the game, but hey, more power to them. Keep creating content. And then players will now be able to obtain one Sheldon license at the end of each season, which if you don't know what the Sheldon licenses are for, those are for unlocking weapons that you may not have already in your collection via leveling up. Full patch notes are available, so if there's more that you want to see, you can read those. Also of note here, are you a big fan of Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, or Arkham Knight?
I've played Asylum and City, and those are very, very good games. I played them back on the 360. I'm sorry. Games. I played City on the Wii U, actually, which was actually a really cool... did you play it on Wii U by chance?
I didn't play it on Wii U. City? See, I knew better. Cool. I played it on on my Xbox. But that being said, I
like how they use a gamepad in it.
That is probably the coolest feature they added. I really like having inventory and map data and all the other like mission tracking that you can get whenever they add like second screen stuff on a second screen instead of going into a menu to find it, and it's just there. That's how I used to play like Borderlands, is I would print off all my missions list stuff. So but there's a new suit that is coming officially to Arkham Knight, first on Nintendo Switch and then on other platforms, and that is Robert Pattinson's suit from the Batman. Now, this was accidentally added to, I believe, the Steam version of this game like a month ago, and then they promptly removed it. And then after they removed it, they made an update to let everybody know that it is coming and that it will be coming to Nintendo Switch first, which is such an odd decision to me because that's like the last place I feel like anyone would normally play this game. But I digress. The suit does look really, really cool. I am going to kind of show it off. Apparently, we're going to watch an ad first. I am going to show that off. But Arkham Knight, by far, is one of my favorite in that series, but it is topped by Arkham City by a very, very long way. Arkham Knight did some really, really cool stuff though with it. This is the official Nintendo Switch gameplay launch trailer for it, and rumor has it this game is performing horribly on Nintendo Switch. So if that is their selling point, get this Rob Pattinson Batman suit first here, they really probably should make their selling point, hey, your game can actually run at 30 frames per second. I don't know. Are you planning on picking it up on Nintendo Switch, Josh?
Not right now, especially with it being $60. I noticed they're like listed separately on the eShop, but you can't buy them. You can click on them, but you just can't buy them separately. Like I thought about just buying one or something. Like if I'd get Arkham Asylum again, since it's like on my old 360 and stuff. Probably just to start it at the beginning again. I haven't really played Arkham Knight, but I don't really trust how it's going to run on the Switch.
Me neither. It blows me away. So, I have zero idea how they can fit all of Arkham Knight onto that console and it run with any kind of fidelity. I'm surprised that it even touches 20 frames per second when it's playing. But that being said, there's the new Batsuit available for free in the Batman Arkham trilogy. Let me exit this. Okay, F11. There we go. And then we are going to go to our next news piece here, which is Wall Peach is real and Wall Peach can hurt you. Earlier this week, oh great, everything is not present anymore. But earlier this week, there was a reveal by some of the character creators from Nintendo, but more specifically the creator of Waluigi himself, where he was revealing some concept art and sketches for Wall Peach, as we would colloquially call her. And I don't think it rolls off the tongue quite as good as Waluigi. Yeah, Wall Peach. The only thing that kind of like saves it for me is that it kind of sounds like an onomatopoeia for getting punched. Wall Peach, like
Whack Peach.
That's kind of where I land with her, and I don't know how I feel about her design overall. I like the cat ears. I like the all black motif. but I think I'd have a hard time like getting behind. This is a new character because it just feels very Princess Peach to me when I look at that in like a new costume.
A little bit. See, I feel like I think Rosalina's great. But I feel like Rosalina's too Princess Peach. I've always felt like she's in a big dress and she looks almost identical to her. But no, actually, to be honest, I think I like this design better than Waluigi.
That is a hot take.
Waluigi's okay. I've grown on Waluigi over time, but he's not my favorite. He's there. He's there. I like him in the background. He's cool. You can pick him if you want, but he's not my favorite. And then the memes have kind of made him a little annoying to me, to be fair.
Oh, I feel that.
That's just me.
I feel that.
Somebody's gonna hate me for that, but he's another dude in overalls, which is fine, I guess. But at least this looks different. I don't know what the little ball things are around her head, but
I think they're extra design features. I think is all they're there for. But I'm with you. As I feel like she is a more interesting take on a negative zone version of Peach.
Maybe they could make her hair black or something. Maybe she wouldn't look quite as much like Peach. Her eyes a different color, maybe.
No, I'm with you. A couple of things here. I had posted it in my Discord, and I had a couple of people, Netist and Calamity Nolan, who's in the live chat right now. They had mentioned that the names that were listed on the design docs that were released, which, by the way, solve your litter needs via all these ads on my screen. I don't understand it, but the names that were on there was Warupichi. And Parich was also a name that was on there for her, which kind of leads, like the Parich part, kind of leads me to believe that was a play on words for the cat ears that they added to her character. Mm. So I think I understand where they're coming at with that name. I wish the Instagram posts were showing, but for some reason it looks like those images have been removed off of his Instagram. So Nintendo Ninjas may have came and got him.
Yep.
That being said, if you want to see them, they're archived on the internet somewhere there.
They're out there now. It's.
Do what?
I said they're out there now. It's not going anywhere.
They are. Then there is another note here. Phil Spencer confirms no plans to bring Game Pass to Nintendo. Earlier this week, there was a person that interviewed him from Windows Central. Phil Spencer was quoted as saying, "I'll start by saying we have no plans to bring Game Pass to PlayStation or Nintendo. It is not in our plans, but I think you hit the right point of what it means to own an Xbox as a further explanation for what they've been doing with pushing to try to have all of their games accessible on every device without you having to own an Xbox." So there was larger detail there, but I think the important piece here, no plans to bring Game Pass to Nintendo, is kind of a devastating blow for a lot of us people who aren't multiple console owners but would have enjoyed having access to those cloud-based games. Final news bit here. We do have our first look at the Donkey Kong expansion at Universal Studios Japan. Josh, do you want to talk about this at all?
Yeah, I mean, just for a moment here, I don't even know where to start on that. Maybe it's my lack of sleep right now, but no. I've talked about this like since 1994. I feel like, I was like 5, but with me and my dad playing through all the country games then, and it's been one of my favorite series. All 5 of the main games since then. I've wanted this for years, and I've always said how well a Mario theme park could work already. Like, we've talked about that forever. I remember getting excited in Mario Sunshine when I saw like a Yoshi carousel. I was like, well, I thought of that way before then. And now they actually have like a real Mario Park and Donkey Kong, which is like almost even cooler. And they got the stick and mine cart. Like they had to do the mine cart if they were putting Donkey Kong in there. I do wish it was based more off of like the Rare iteration, of course. And I wish there were Kremlings. But I can't complain. This one's cool too. Returns and Tropical Freeze are great as well. So that's fine. I did see Dixie actually pop up as well in one of the little art things they put out. So I was like, okay, good. It's not just Donkey and Diddy. That's great. But yeah, give me more. I saw Rambi in there. I think I saw Squawks. I saw Funky's name, maybe Cranky. So I'm like, yeah, dude, it's getting more in there. Come on, bring in Kiddy Kong. I'm cool with that. I know everybody hates Kiddy Kong. I'm taking up for him right here. But yeah, I definitely want to go check it out.
I'm with you. I think it is exciting. I think the thing that you mentioned there with wanting some more of the Kremlins that are in there, I think that kind of confirms for me Nintendo doesn't own the Kremlings. I think they own all the other rest of the IP, and Rare took Kremlings with them. Because we have yet to see a Kremling in any Donkey Kong game, period, since 64.
We saw him in Barrel Blast.
Oh, that doesn't count. No one played that.
I know barely counts, but ownership-wise, it's there. There's like very little. There might be something else tiny in there, but I feel like they do. They just like refuse to use them. I feel like they're too proud to use what Rare created for the most part. Like Diddy, I feel like it's got a big downgrade since Rare's been gone. Like he showed up in a few things, but I could go on and on about that. But and I don't know what it is. It's like they just do not want to use them, even though people have been asking for them for years. K. Rool made it into Smash, which was a huge surprise to me. But
yes,
yeah,
absolutely. I was elated to see that there was that nod back to Donkey Kong Country era, like 1000% about that. So,
well, that made me crazy happy, and then Banjo even more. That was the top tier edition for me. But
dude,
not to get too off track, but I could, mourn Rare's loss for the past 20 years to this day. So,
I understand.
It hasn't been the same.
I understand. We will be going into our final set of topic here, and that is upcoming games and dates for everything that's either been confirmed or is going to be released. Josh, do you wanna cover everything that's coming up?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and jump in there. So the first one we are looking at is Professor Layton and the New World of Steam, confirmed for 2025. So we got a while for that one. I've poked at a couple of those myself, and I don't know why I haven't played more of them, honestly. I know my wife likes them.
I am a giant fan of those games. They are so good.
I really should be. I mean, you were showing some of it off here now. It looks really nice, and the puzzles in it that I looked at one of the game tunes. I can't remember which one it is, but were just really. They weren't too easy, but they weren't like real frustrating. They're just really cool. I mean, trying to check out some of it here now. I totally see the appeal behind it. I hope this does well.
One of the things I'm excited about with it is that it's Layton and not Catriel. I like Catriel. Like she's a fine character, but I prefer Layton as the protagonist of that series, and they leaned really heavily into Catriel for like almost all the stuff. I mean, there's a Layton game on Apple Arcade that you can download. That's Catriel. And I just miss the Layton days, like the classic Professor Layton. So it's gonna be it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that one out when it comes out. It just feels like we've got so long. It actually makes me wonder if it's going to be on the Switch or something after that. So anyway, I won't get into that one. Shall we move on?
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
As I'm watching this trailer. Anyway, so the next one is Dreamers, a nostalgic.
Uh-oh. I think we might have lost Josh.
Can you see?
We see you. We can't hear you. And you're running at 3 frames per second. It is a slideshow. I'll take over for him while he's waving, and if we stabilize, he can jump in here. We've got Dreamers, a nostalgic adventure, out December 7th. Outer Wilds Archaeologist Edition, out December 7th. Valis, the Phantasm Soldier Collection, out December 7th as well. Fortnite Lego. There are 3 new games that are happening inside of Fortnite, which look absolutely ridiculous, which is Fortnite Lego. I would make that more akin to Minecraft. Rocket Racing, which is just like an exclusively racing game. And then Fortnite Festival.
Full circle.
Yep. Yes.
Minecraft is meeting Fortnite. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you.
Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. And those all come December 7th, 8th, and 9th, respectively. And then Josh, since you're back, do you wanna hit that last note?
I think I'm still I think I'm Arkham Knight on the Switch still right now.
Oh no, he is Rob Pattinson's
That's all right. Only
the Batman.
So not quite more one on the Switch. Where are we at here?
TMNT.
Oh, so what I wanted to jump in here with Fortnite. I refuse to play it for the long. But my wife and some friends really enjoy it, so everyone. I'm excited to teach me just make their way there. I hope you can still hear me because I heard a beep on my side.
Nope, we can't. We can barely hear you. You were going through. We'll wrap this up though. Also, potential for TMNT to come to the game sometime in the near future. I will say here that is our last topic for today's show, and that about wraps up this episode of Nintendo Rewind. Josh, if we can hear you, where can we find you?
Hear me?
Never mind, we can't hear him. He can hear me probably, but we cannot hear him.
You can see me.
So we can find him over at Whopper744 Games over on X.com. He has made the transition over to Threads as well. You can find him at Whopper744 over there. This is episode 1. We're going to work through these kinks. No worries, no stress. For myself, you can find me over on Threads at Nerdwire Plays. Pretty much all of the social platforms at Nerdwire Plays, and here on a nightly basis, most of the time, except I'm going on vacation this week, so I won't be here to stream. You can find me here on Nerdwire Plays, twitch.tv/Nerdwire Plays. Josh, can you talk yet? Nope.
Hello?
No, he cannot. So you can catch all of our episodes in audio form on Apple Podcast videos on YouTube at youtube.com/@the-Nintendo Rewind. Join our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Nintendo Rewind. And visit our social page on Threads at Nintendo Rewind. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. Remember that you can catch us live every week, Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Nerdwire Plays. Have a good one, guys. And then we will be right back after this short break.